Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. With screen sizes changing, illustrations have become a challenging job. We speak to Ivan Despi and Pauline Vicencio Despi of the Acid House on the sidelines of Curious Designyatra 2016 about how they deal with the challenges when it comes to illustration, how they convince their clients to illustrate more, and how difficult is it to hire and retain illustrators and young talent in today's setup. Let's hear the full conversation.
So Ivan, tell me, in the short span of time your company's been alive, the business has changed dramatically. You had to adjust for shrinking sizes, screens, for example. 5 years ago, you didn't think that your work will be on a screen that size.
Yes.
So tell me how you manage the change.
Actually, I remember my friend told me about 8 or 10 years ago that TV will soon die. I mean, because of the onset of web content, of online content. He told me, why are you spending so much time and effort in working for TV while it has a death sentence, it has a death knell already. So I was kind of worried about that when we were discussing it, but you will see that we are thriving on content,
right? And
then the TV is just a medium. So as long as we are producing content that people wants to see, no matter what platform it will be in, if it will be in a mobile or whatever future platforms it will be in, as long as people wants to see, or as long as you also go to the people, you also go to a platform that the people uses, I think you will have no problem with your content.
Tell me, illustrations especially, illustrations, animation, they're harder and harder to do the smaller the screen. So how do you deal with that?
There are programs that we use, and every time that there's a new program coming up, we have to be updated.
Right.
Yeah, to adjust. So basically, we're just doing everything on a large piece of artwork first, and then we resize it depending on the use. Yeah.
If I may also add to that, because of that consideration that it will be viewed in smaller screens, the compromise or the adjustment that we made is for the text just to be immediately readable. I think we also prepared for that because in designing for TV, we don't consider that the viewers always have this big LED TVs. We were, like for example in Manila, we were always considering that most of our target audience, they view our work through screens like it's like a small screen, and then like 10 people are sharing the screen, so it's really small. So we kind of prepared to design for something like that. So as far as that kind of content going to the phone, we made adjustments in the design that it can be easily readable. It's legible even on a small screen.
You work with a beautiful portfolio of clients already. So tell me a little bit about the process of selling to the client, of convincing the client that they should work with you.
We have to explain that we don't have a marketing team.
Right.
It's basically our work doing most of the marketing.
Right. Selling and the marketing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's our work that
speaks for itself.
And we're lucky to get representations from Germany. We are being represented by Flint Stalin. In Singapore, we are being represented by another agency, it's Critica. And in LA by Spinning Yarn.
Yes.
So with that, they see the volume of our work, and then we get job from them.
Right.
And yeah, they're pretty proud of how we deliver our work. So yeah.
So tell me, who's your competitor in Manila?
When we started, there were just a few studios working on it. But after 10 years of working in the industry, there are a lot of boutique studios that have already popped up that are also keen on working along with us in the projects that we make. There are,
But they don't. But those studios don't focus mainly on motion design.
Right.
That's where we specialize in. So some of them have moved into another form of business, into web or digital content. But for Acid House, we focused on motion design.
Right. Well, one of the challenges in your business is that, like you said, 10 years ago there was hardly anybody. Suddenly, there's lots of people.
Yeah.
Is the clients take advantage and start beating the price down?
Yes.
How have you managed to resist that?
That's always been a consideration. That's always been something to worry about. I think just to add to the previous discussion, I think there are a lot of studios that have popped up. They are offering the same thing that we are offering. However, I think the difference between us is our skills in illustration, because in the studio, all of the members of the studio are very good in illustration.
Right.
So I think that factor that we can illustrate, because some of the studios that we compete with, they are just working on pure design and motion. However, we integrate our illustration into the work. It gives another kick. It kicks it up to another level that they don't see in the other studios. So I think that's a good selling point that we use in order to pull the clients from the other studios.
Right. Now, one of the challenges for you is to keep getting good illustrators to work for you.
Yes.
How
yes.
difficult a task is that? Because that's a complex art and not very many young kids are available.
Yeah, it's very hard for us to hire new people because there's a surge of multimedia design schools in Manila, and there are a lot of graduates who studied multimedia design.
Right.
Right now, I think the difference with the other studios and ours, we hire people who are very good in fine arts.
Right.
So we basically hire people who knows how to illustrate traditionally, and then we train them in-house.
Right.
And then from there, they develop into really good motion designers because they already have the eye for
Right.
composition and
The
design.
challenge then is how do you retain them, because they'll be suddenly in demand because they've got the foundation right, then they got trained by you, and now your competition wants to hire them and
Yes.
double the salary.
That's
How do you manage that problem?
We cannot prevent them from most especially if those other companies, or for example, bigger companies wants to hire them, bigger companies that we can pay as much as those big companies. I guess we can prevent them from doing that. I guess the only thing that we can do is be proud of them, that we taught them, we trained them, and then now they're out in the world, they're making a name for themselves. I think that's where
That
we
will not
draw.
be a problem.
That will not be a problem.
Okay, now I'm going to ask both of you a question, the same question. Take a little bit of time to think about it. What is the 2-3 pieces of work you're proudest of?
I think it's the non-profitable work that we do. Yeah, there can be exhibits that we've shown somewhere else and not in the Philippines that were commissioned for us to develop a video art piece.
My answer would be the advocacy work that we did for the recent presidential elections in Manila. It's a 360-degree animated video. It's the first in the Philippines. So that's my favorite because in terms of technical, we were able to figure out how to create a 360 animated video. Usually you can do that with a 360-degree camera, but for animation you have to construct it from scratch.
Right.
So aside from that technical aspect of that, in terms of the advocacy aspect of that, it was used as a voter education tool because it helped the young voters, the first-time voters in the Philippines, which comprises 40% of the demographic.
Was this for MTV or who was it for?
This is for ABS-CBN, one of the largest TV network in the Philippines. So initially it was our own studio initiative, but when they saw it, they picked it up actually. So it was our own initiative. Then the network saw it, they picked it up, and then they helped us in terms of mileage, in terms of marketing it. So it's targeted towards the young voters to familiarize themselves with the violations of the election code. So I think it's hand in hand, something that's animation, something that we do, and also something for the community, for the citizens. So I think that's my favorite piece of work today.
So wonderful. So I hope the next time we meet, we're going to talk about more great work and maybe some awards that you won, and maybe more success in retaining your great talent. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
It is time for us to slip into a short break. When we return, we get to see the first in series of Christmas ads for UK retailer Tesco.